Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we have a review of the new 4K Ultra HD Blu-Ray edition of Love and Monsters. 7 years after the monster apocalypse, Joel Dawson, along with the rest of humanity, has been living underground ever since giant creatures took control of the land. After reconnecting over the radio with his high school girlfriend Amy, who is now 80 miles away at a coastal colony, Joel begins to fall for her again. As Joel realizes that there's nothing left for him underground, he decides to venture out to Amy, despite all the dangerous monsters that stand in his way. When Love and Monsters came out in 2020, originally it was meant to go to theaters, but of course the COVID-19 pandemic took care of that and instead went straight to streaming and video on demand. I did not watch it. I didn't want to pay $20 to watch a stream. I would have rather saw it in a theater, so I waited for the home media release, and it dropped in the first week of 2021, and holy shit, I was really impressed with this. I had a lot of fun with it. Lead actor Dylan O'Brien, I know him from the Maze Runner movies, and the other actress who plays Amy, she's one of the Sand Snakes in Game of Thrones. I didn't initially recognize her. She was kind of like Snap famous, like, oh, I know her from somewhere, and she plays one of the Sand Snakes in Game of Thrones. That's a plot line I tried to forget. That's probably why I didn't want to recognize her. But this movie has a lot of heart, and it's a lot of fun, and there's some great practical effects in it as well. I thought this was going to be like a CGI monstrosity, but it actually looked really great, and there's some great effects in here. Sure, the plot is a little bit by the numbers when you take out the bugs and monsters and everything, but it has a lot of heart to it, and it's a film I think the entire family can enjoy, so I would definitely recommend Love and Monsters from just a movie standpoint. But is the 4K Ultra HD transfer any good? Let's find out. So if you decide to pick up Love and Monsters on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, in the US you only have the one version to pick from, and is the standard edition slipcover here featuring the standard poster art. And on the back we have some still imagery, some information about the specs, as well as some information about the movie itself. Take off the slipcover, it is the same imagery on the front and the back of the case itself. Open it up, here is what the 4K disc looks like, and it's first come, first serve on this digital download code. And then here is the Blu-ray disc. So for visuals on this, we have upscaled 4K, so this was a 2K transfer, upscaled to 4K, but you'd never know it because it's incredibly clear. There's no grain on here pretty much whatsoever. It looks incredibly clear, it's incredibly vivid, it's incredibly bright, and the practical effects really lend themselves to looking good on the 4K format, because sometimes when you have upscaled digital effects, those are what end up looking grainy and washed out and not good whatsoever, but they look great on this release, and I really had no problem with this. There's a lot of different colors in here. There's a lot of great nighttime scenes with some great HDR, and this was just a visual treat overall. Quite impressed with the visuals on Love and Monsters. And on audio here, we have a DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 mix, and this was pretty impressive as well. I even had to turn down my speakers a little bit because it was just pretty damn loud. So if you have your speakers on like a normal setting, make sure you turn them down a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to get some complaints from the neighbors. But audio is always clear on this release. It's always right there. It's very present, and sometimes it even feels a little bit too loud, like the dialogue was just too elevated. So that's a weird kind of complaint to have with a 4K disc, because usually I have to complain about it being too low in the mix, but it was present here. So audio, this was satisfactory. So would I recommend Love and Monsters on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray? I'm going to say this is a day one pickup. Thankfully, on the first release of 2021, we have a good release. Thank you, hallelujah, with all the things going on in the real world right now. Thankfully, we've got some decent 4K releases dropping this year already. I highly recommend you pick it up. Sure, it's a bit expensive for a release that's been out for like 6 months digitally, but I think if you pick it up, you will not regret it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw here, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Oh, I feel like Tom Cruise.